Welcome to today's Emunah Minute. Today in Daf Yomi we did a beautiful sugya that contrasted two different halachic constructs. The concept of a neder and a nedava. We loosely translate neder as a vow and nedava as a voluntary or gift offering. This often comes up in the realm of sacrificial law, karbanos. For example, a person says, Hare alai, I hereby take upon myself to offer this particular animal as a karban. That's a neder. Versus a person who says, Harezu, this animal will be offered up as a karban, that is a nedava, a voluntary or gift offering. Now the truth is they sound synonymous, but the Mishnah actually explains that there is a fundamental difference. When a person makes a neder and says, Hare alai, this obligation is upon me, even if something happens to the designated animal, a person must provide a replacement offering in order to satisfy the vow. Versus a nedava, when it comes to a gift or voluntary offering, if something happens to the animal, I don't have a replacement obligation. And the distinction is very simple. A neder represents the assumption of a personalistic responsibility. Hare alai. There is an obligation that is incumbent upon me. So therefore, I don't fulfill my obligation until I actually make good on the promise. A nedava, on the other hand, is a status that is conferred upon the animal. So therefore, the animal now becomes pledged. But if something ultimately happens to the animal, I am absolved of my responsibility. Neder versus a nedava. And I thought that the truth is this is an incredible metaphor for the different circumstances and situations in life. There are neder situations and there are nedava situations. You see, the neder situations are the situations that I control. Hare alai, the obligation is upon me. I hold the keys. I hold the reins. I can impact change in this particular situation. And then there are nedava situations. Nedava situations are situations that are important and they impact me and they have repercussions for my life as well, but I don't hold the keys. I don't hold the reins. I can't really affect change. So just by way of example, so often in life, we focus on nedava situations. The nedava situations are, let's say, how other people behave. My parents do this, my children do this, my spouse does this, my friends do this, and I need this person to act like this and say this and behave like this. And if only everyone else would do all that they're supposed to do, my life would be gewaldig. Everything would be great. See, here's the only problem. What everyone else does and the way everyone else lives, those are nedava situations. Harezu, it's important, but I don't hold the reins. I don't control how someone else speaks, and I don't control how someone else behaves, and I don't control what someone else does or what someone else doesn't do. Those are things that are beyond my control. Yet we tend to spend so much time focusing on nedava situations. We focus so much time on the things we cannot control and the things we cannot really impact or affect change on. Yet, we so often neglect the neder situations. You see, the neder situations, hare alai, refers to the things I do control. And there are so many situations in my life, so many circumstances in my life that I can affect change. There are things that I do control. There are things for which I do hold the keys. There are things for which I do hold the reins. Hare alai. The obligation, the responsibility is on me. I could make a difference. I could affect change. I could turn things around. Now, more often than not, the neder situations in life ultimately are the things that are controlled by me because they're about me. My personality, my attitude, my outlook, my midos, those are all up to me. Those are all up to me. And this great irony of life, I often spend so much time focusing on the nedava areas that are important, but I don't control them. And all too often I neglect the neder areas, which I hold the reins, I have control, and I could affect change. To kind of distill it even into just a more simpler lesson, I don't control anyone else. And so therefore, there's only so much time and attention I should give to worrying about the behaviors of others. Of course, again, as a parent, I have an obligation to look out and to be mechanech, to educate my children. And as a spouse, I have an obligation to look out for my spouse as well. And even as our parents get older, we have an obligation, but I don't control any of those people. I don't control how they behave, what they do, what they say, or how they say it. And too often, we get hyper-focused on the things we don't control to the detriment of the things that we do. Nedavas are important, but neder situations are even more important. For those are the areas which I control. Those are the areas where I could impact change. Kadosh Baruch Hu should give us the koach to be cognizant of the nedavos, but to ultimately be ever present, involved, and roll up our sleeves with the nedarim of life. Wishing everyone a wonderful day.